Welcome to gender blending. And one day the transition will be smooth. Here we go. Hi, welcome. I'm gonna start with piano today again. Thank you for being here. I'm pretty excited. I'm gonna start out with a couple Chopin pieces. And then we're gonna program, which is gonna be exciting. This is one of Chopin's nocturnes. And I'll turn off the playlist. Post haste. If you're not familiar with the show, this is Gender Blending. My name's Paige, and this is Chopin's music. part's really hard, and I'm gonna get back into this part right now. Thank you so much for the subscription, and thank you for being here, Jillian Nabil. Thank you so much. I'm excited to try playing the rest of this really tough one. Okay, where are we? I'm glad you were digging it because honestly, this is some new music. And Nabil, I've been thinking more of like so much lately about what you told me. I mean, I've told you that I think about this, but when you told me that art is meant to disturb the comforted and comfort the disturbed, I think Chopin did that better than almost anybody. I think that piece is a good representation of it. I think it's so comforting and also something that's pulled out of just a realm of I don't know what. But I'm gonna play this next song, and it's also by Chopin, and I also will hopefully do it justice, but we've seen how well I play piano here. So we'll see if I can play the mastery that is Chopin. I just have to find the first page for this piece because I don't have them bookmarked. This is it. Here we go. Hope you enjoy. Alright, let's do one more. It's so good. It's so good. I can't believe. I won't. We'll do that one again. That's okay, Nabil. That's totally understandable. But I was saying that I don't know if you can hear me right now, but I've been thinking about your statement about art disturbing the comforted and comforting the disturbed a lot. I think that that's very deep and powerful, and a real representation of why I think music says more than when I'm speaking a lot of the time. I don't think I'm gonna play this whole song, but I think I'm gonna play it through the beginning, maybe one more, and then switch composers here. I think that's around when I am gonna switch to something else here. A little different music. I'm just feeling relaxing music today, so here's one. I love that song so much. Oh, it's so good, right? Mm. Yeah. That's the mood I'm in too. That's just how I felt about my whole week. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put this right here. My piano stand is a little bit broken. I'll play a WC piece that nobody really knows. Everybody knows Claire Loon. And I played that recently. I want to play a WC piece that people don't know, and they should. I can't quite do it justice all the way through, so I'm gonna skip one or two parts that are too tough for me. But overall, I can play the majority of it fair enough. Alright, here we go. This is WC's Ballad. back up. I said I wouldn't try this part, but I'm gonna. Yo, Joey the Bastard. I hope you're good. That was the last WC piece I'm gonna play. I played some Chopin before that. That was WC. Now, what I'm gonna do, I have some plans today. Some more specific plans. I'm gonna try and do some programming on stream. I'm not good at programming. I'm not really good at a lot of things, but I try at things. And I'm gonna try a programming on stream today. And, you know, if anybody is interested in programming, I'll just talk about what's going on in my understanding of it, and maybe I'll end up getting backseated as I do programming challenges. But I'm gonna bear myself on stream because I think that that's like a scary thing to try to do is programming challenges just like right on the dot. That's probably a terrible noise on the stream. But right now I'm just enjoying music so much I'm gonna keep doing this, and the end of our stream is gonna be me cooking dinner. And I'll try and have a better camera angle. The other day I was watching my own stream and I realized that I didn't even have like the piano very visible, and I was like, yeah, I didn't think that well out. But now we have a pretty good view, I think. I wish I could do this every single day, but work and all, you know? Okay, I'm gonna play some music. I'm gonna continue the French sort of jams with some Eric Satie. If I can find it. Maybe the world doesn't want me to play this piece. Oh, it's in the G's. There we go. This should do. I'll have this one for after. Oh, I already did that one wrong. Let's start over. And that'll do it. That'll happen twice over. Isn't it weird how it just fits in with the one note difference? One more piece by Eric Satie. Maybe two, because I am seeing that I might want to play two. When I look at the music, sometimes it does fall to me a little bit more than I was thinking about it. Let's try that approach again. This isn't actually the one I wanted to play. This is the one. That's pretty good. Oh, that was fun. Let me think. Let's see what else we got in the pile. Okay, we can always play a Bach piece. We'll play one Bach piece. We'll keep it kind of short. I'll just play one that I like. If you're going to play one Bach piece, the one that you should probably play I don't know which one you should play, but I'm gonna play this one. Because it's been a minute since I last played this song. Okay. I think that what I'm going to do is to try and take a quick break and come back and do some programming challenge. Hello. I'm back, and this is Gender Blending, and I'm gonna actually come back to this webcam. And so, in a way, I'm still getting set up, but in another way, I'm ready. Another more important way, which is why I decided to get started. Because this is still gonna be a relaxed sesh. Even though I'm stressed about this. This is the most stressed I've ever been on stream in a way, because this is the most embarrassing thing. Because there's so many people who are very good programmers, and I'm someone who's put many hours in it, and I feel like I'm an embarrassment of a programmer. And so I'm gonna try and do it on stream as a way to kick fire my need to do okay. And so I'm gonna do little baby problems. These are little baby elementary school programming problems, and I'm just gonna talk about it while I do it. And we'll see how it goes. And I might move on to more advanced projects because I do have some things in progress that are, I wouldn't say failures, but that's what, of course, people say when they've suffered a catastrophic loss. Typically, is they'll say something along the lines of, "Oh, it's okay. I wanted to restart that game anyways." for example. People might say that, but in this particular case, it's truly fine. I'm thinking about reapproaching my last project as a different type of application, but in the meantime, I think I'm just going to practice some fundamentals, and so I'm going to practice some fundamentals on stream. And as I'm not completely in the dark about streaming, or else I wouldn't speak about it, I'll talk about what I do know and what I am doing, and we'll do a little bit of practice. And so this is going to be through a website that's called HackerRank. And HackerRank is a website that gives you different levels of problems, and you can do it right in the browser, and it'll check your work for you. And if I was truly interested in developing the best programming ability, I should do test-driven development, in my opinion. However, I'm just going to go ahead and write some freaking code today because I want to work. So, let's change my screen. And did it work? Oh, no, because we're on this mode. Here we go, ready? There we go, there's code. This is a typical challenge that you'll see on one of these websites. And so this is a min-max challenge, and I haven't looked at it. I basically just loaded this website and I made a new account. So this is a random problem that they provide. I did one already yesterday. And so this is the second one that I've done since then. And, you know, this is really what I need to practice. I'm so like in the abstract with everything that I do. I've just been like trying to dive into actual practice lately. So if people aren't familiar with these, the problem's on the left and the code is on the right, of course. And the solution is normally presented as one class, and then you are writing code in a class that is used within that. So this code is going to run solution, and the class solution itself is going to run this minimax sum, which is what it's asking us to write. And what this is taking, and now I understand this because the person that I'm dating is a pretty good programmer and teaches me and helps me practice. Now I understand. I was so confused because it gives you an array and it tells you to use an array, and then it's like a list. What? Why are you telling me to use an array and then giving me a list? And I didn't realize, like, it's an array in other languages. And so that's why that is that way. I'm using C# because that's what I know. I have practiced in other languages. I've used C++, and I've also used Python. And I mean, there's other like smaller offshoots of different languages, and there's JavaScript and TypeScript and these types of things. But C# is really my core language that I'm familiar with. And I think it's not as bad as people say it is, but it's obviously not perfect. But I'm not even good enough to justify why that would be. So this green stuff, these are notes, and we're just gonna get rid of those. It doesn't matter. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this list of numbers that it's giving us, and we're gonna put that into our own data structures. Because what it's asking for is that we take this array, which is a collection of numbers, and it wants us to take the 4 smallest numbers and add them up, and also then afterwards to take the 4 larger numbers and add them up. And so the way that you do that is that we got these 5 numbers right here. It's being given to us. And what I'm gonna do, this is just the first thought. There's multiple ways that you can approach any programming problem. But I'm gonna create my own collection of 4 things. And so this is gonna be a collection of 4 integers. And I'm gonna try using an array for this. And so the way that you create an array, the only difference between an array and a list is that a list can change its size, and an array cannot change its number of contents. And so this list is going to hold all the things that are put into it from the initial array has passed in right here. So we're gonna call this the what should we call it? You know, you don't need to put like too much thought into names, but that is like a big thing in programming when you have big programs. So in this case, I'm just gonna call it we'll call it collection, and then we'll say it's a new int. And so that means that it's a new array. And I think that that's a valid line. And I can check if it's actually like compiling by doing this. And I might get a compilation error. I don't think I'll get a compilation error. I think it'll just say that it's wrong. And one of the bad things about these websites is how long it takes to compile. If I were to put this just in my actual coding editor, Visual Studio or something, then it would work. But yeah, a lot of people are not familiar with code at all. And I mean, if you really know a lot about code, you know that C# is barely code, because actually C# is going more and more abstract until it turns into machine language and then is run by the computer at the lowest level. And so this is pretty well abstracted to the point where it's human language. And that's why I'm able to do it without a computer science degree. I have studied it, and I have like a conceptual understanding of C and more low-level languages, but I would have to take forever to do any coding and that sort of stuff. A little PHP and JavaScript, nice. Yeah, I mean, when I was talking earlier about the other things that I know, what I learned at Reviture was to use Angular as a front end, which uses TypeScript, and also CSS and HTML. But CSS and HTML aren't full languages, which is why I didn't mention it. But anyways, so let's see, did this actually compile? It might not have. Error. It must have an array size or initializer. I think that that's okay, to be honest. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually add the 4 smallest things to this collection. And you know what? We can actually save time by creating the function and declaring this collection inside of it. But then we need to hold the results of the actual arrays, because what we're doing is we're adding the lowest numbers in each of these. So we'll have, well, the way that I was thinking about doing this was to put the whole thing in a for loop, because then it's just less code to write overall, because I'm only going to run this twice. So I could, since it's twice, I could even put it in an if statement. But what I'm going to do is actually do a for statement. And what this means is that the code's going to run multiple times. And I'm going to say for x equaling 0, that as long as it's 0, or we'll say as long as, yeah, we'll just say this is going to work is the thing. And the person who I live with says just to do it and make it work, and then you can make it more beautiful after. So that's what we're going to do. And I can move the code up and down by holding the L key while I do this. And so I'm going to actually declare this in here. And this should be x++ here at the end. So basically what this is going to do is that if x is actually equal to 0, x is going to, we'll say if x is less than 1, x++, because we only needed to iterate the ones. Since we only needed to iterate once, you could use an if statement, honestly. But this would make sense if you were going to do like 3 or more, and you could just change the number in there. And there's other ways you could do a do while if it was like a ton of things. But I'm going to use a for statement because it's going to work, so that's fine. So for x equaling 0, if it's less than 1, it's going to iterate up to 1. And then what we're going to do is that we're going to say that if it's 0, then we're going to do one type of thing to the collection. And if it's this, then we're going to do another thing to the collection. And at the end of it, we're going to print the results, because then you don't have to run through the whole thing with 2 different collections. It'll make sense at the end. So if x is 0, and this time you're going to use double to say that it's equal, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So if it's 0, and we'll actually declare the function at the top here. If it's 0, then what we're going to do is we're going to go through the list, and we're going to take the lowest numbers in the list, and we're going to put them into the collection. So for each num in R, and we could do a variable. It could also be an integer, it doesn't matter. So we're going to iterate through the array. We're going to look through every single number that's in the actual array, and we're going to take a couple of them. But there's a better way to do it than this, I'm pretty sure. But I'm just going to run through really quickly, and then we're going to say, just because I want to get through the bare bones, I'll do that part after in a second. Else, we're going to do, again, the same code as above. On this second time, we're going to iterate through, and we're going to do the higher numbers down here. And so then we're also going to need a variable to hold the calculated number. So we'll say int calculated number, because I'm going to try and only use one variable to do both things. So if the calculated number is 0, we're going to declare it here at the end. This makes sense. And then I think it only wants you to print the solution. Print two space separated long integers. Since it's space separated, I might have to do this differently. I did not read that part, but we'll get there. Console.writeLine, and this is where we're gonna write the calculated number. You see, I was going to do this twice, but I guess we will do two in it. I was trying to be clever and it didn't work, so we'll do in higher and lower. That's the more straightforward way that would make sense to most people. But I was trying to be sly, which is probably why I fail at this most of the time. But my hope is that by failing on camera that I'll fail less in the future. And so I have two different integers. One is going to be the higher value, the other one's the lower. And so we'll do lower plus higher here. Lower and higher. But you want to print it and have it be a space. Thinking. I think that might work. I think you do this. But because I don't think it's going to do it as I don't think this is going to do it as like an equation. I don't think it's going to add it. Because normally you would do like, if you want spaces in your console.writeLine, you'd write that, and then you'd do like this to do two different things. I'm thinking. I think that'll work. We'll see. If it doesn't work, then... Oh, you know what you do? I just got it. Here you go. You do console.writeLine, and you do this whole thing. Do you do it like this? Is that it? I don't know. Let's try it like this before. You knew it was gonna happen. Okay. So I want to see if there's a way to get the lowest number in a collection from a list. I'm pretty sure there is. This is where you can pull out Google, and you could do C# lowest number in a list. And there's definitely, it is .min. I thought it might be. Yeah, it is min. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through it, and we're gonna declare int min equals 0, and we're gonna say min is equal to num. In fact, wait, let's do this the way that makes sense. Min is equal to the num. So this is like a placeholder number that's going to equal this. Wait, no, we don't have to worry about this. For each, no, because we do want the minimum. So the minimum, the way that we get this, int min, is going to be the array dot min, like this. There we go. We got it. I think that's it. So that's our minimum number. Wait. I don't think we need to iterate. If x is equal to 0, we'll take the minimum number. I think I'm making this way too complicated, and this is why it's embarrassing. Okay, I think I'm making it too complicated for my own good. We're going to take the minimum number in the array, right? And then we're going to just remove it from the list, I think. I think that that's going to work. And so for x equals 1, thinking. For each. I'm doubting my own method. I think this is all good. I think that this is fine. Nope, it's not good because it's space separated, so I don't know. No, the for loop is fine. This is all good up here. And then we're gonna say on this first iteration, we're looking for the minimum number. I think this is okay right now. Int min is gonna be the smallest number in the array. And so here's what I was thinking. I'll just write it out. Was min plus, and then we're gonna do lower, right? And then we're gonna do yeah, here we go. We're gonna put this in a for loop. Same thing. And this is bad naming convention, but I just want to get it out before it slips from my brain. For y equaling 0, and we're going to iterate through the array, and we can just say the size of the array. We can do array.count here. And this might not be the correct syntax, but we'll fix it if it's not. Array.count. Once it's equal to array.count, then we're gonna do y plus plus. And that should be pretty good. This might do it too many times. So we might want to do as long as it's less than. And then we're gonna go here. And we're gonna put all this stuff we just wrote and put it inside. Okay, so to recap, the first time it goes through this loop, it's going to look for the smallest number, it's going to add it to the lower number, and then we're going to remove it. So we're going to do array dot remove, I think, and then min, and then because I think it resets when it goes through again. I'm pretty sure. Does that make sense? Because we're going to remove the lowest number, and then we're going to add it, and then we're going to go through the end. We'll see. We'll go through it. I might be making a silly mistake, but I'm gonna just keep pushing through here. And you see, this is a baby problem. I should be able to do this. And then this is using a list here. I don't even know why I clicked on this. I was gonna look at the remove. Remove something from an array. Remove element from array C#. Dot skip. We'll see. If you don't want to use a list, you can try this extension. Okay, so I guess we could just use a list. Their length is immutable. I literally started by saying that. I can't delete any. I literally started by saying that. I think I'll commit to trying to use an array and still iterating through this correctly. And I think that the way that I can do this is this. We'll do this right here. And then we'll do something clever where we're going to go ahead and we can't remove. That's a silly thing. I literally said that we can't change the length of an array at the beginning of this, and then I tried to do that. I tried to do just that. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the minimum number and I'm gonna index that and use that to get the next numbers that we're gonna add to lower. So maybe I should just use the list. Thinking. What we do is we have an array and we're going through it. This is gonna work. We're going through each element in the array. And it might make sense to use an if statement, because we could say something like, we can bring back the for each statement that we have done here, I think. We have int minimum declared, right? Here it is. I think we're on the path to victory. This is a little bit of a silly way to do it, but I think it's gonna work. For each number in the array, we're going to see if it is the minimum. If num is equal to min, then, and I bet programmers are gonna like really not like this. If it's the same, then we're gonna add it. And then what we want to do is we want to do that 3 more times. We want to do that 3 more times with the next lowest number. And so how would we do that with the next lowest number is my question, is what I'm saying out loud right now. Oh gosh, what a baby problem. And I'm trying to do it in such like a silly way too. There's better ways of doing it. We want to take the 4 lowest numbers. We should probably just add the 4 lowest numbers to a list and remove them from an array. It's probably the thing that makes the most sense. So this should probably be a list. I'll give up on using an array. I really don't want to, because I feel like arrays are altogether better than lists because they're faster. And like I just think that's interesting. But I guess using a list makes sense. And that's an easy change to make. All we do is we go up here. And so the list, I can change the length, which basically makes it solvable in the way that I was approaching it. So we're taking the same collection, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the minimum number to a new list, and then we're gonna remove it from the array. So we're gonna take the minimum number, and we're gonna do we're gonna add it to the list. So we're gonna say min dot, or we're gonna say it's called collection is our list. Collection, which is a really vague term. We're gonna say collection dot add, I'm pretty sure, or is it to list? Add element to list C#. Is it just add? It's probably add. Yeah, it's add. I was correct. So we're gonna add min. And then we're gonna do, oh, you can't remove things from an array. What am I talking about? That's okay. It's all right. No, because it is a list. It's giving us a list that's called an array. And that's one of the reasons that these problems kind of mess up my brain. So what we can do is that we can remove min from the list. But wait. I might have a smarter strategy, Because what if we just removed everything that was higher than the lowest 4? Well, it would depend on the size of the array. This says that it has the parameters of 5 integers. So if it's 5 integers every single time, alright, this is silly. If it's 5 integers every single time, then that makes this a little bit easier, because we don't need to do this. What we can do is, it's going to be list dot, and I just want to make sure it's list dot max, and it'd be r dot max. I was right, because that's the name of the array. And it's dot max. I'm pretty sure it is. Okay, that's not too bad. So we're taking min, or we're taking max now. But we can make this even faster. We can make this even faster. We can do it on one line, literally. And it doesn't need to be in this. I'm trying to make this as simple as possible, because I can make it better later. Okay. We're gonna take, we don't need to do this. We can make this so simple. We can do, array dot remove max. Literally. That one line will take the maximum number, and then we can do a for each statement easily. Easy. For each. And now we're on the road to victory. Num in R. That's super easy. And then we'll do lower plus num equal, hold on, lower plus num. I'm not getting the plus button. There seems to be something wrong with my keyboard. Whether, oh, there we go. Okay. Lower plus num is equal to lower. And now there's an order of operations question in my brain, because it's actually the other way around. It should go like this. There we go. Lower equals num plus lower. And that should be literally it. Else, if it's 1, then we're gonna remove the minimum. Oh my god, it was so easy. And that's the thing, this makes me feel like so silly, because this is such an easy problem, you know? But we're gonna remove the minimum. Now, this only works if the list like regenerates. I forget if it has regeneration, or if it takes damage permanently, but I'm gonna try and see that. And then so from then it's pretty straightforward, because we're just literally printing out the 2 integers. And that's an example of how I think way too much about this stuff. Higher. Wow, that was so easy. I'm pretty sure this will work, but let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. And it's gonna process for a minute. I think it works, because I think the list regenerates. I did go ahead and I removed the minimum number, because it's always 5. So I mean, it's pretty straightforward. But that's another thing that gets me about these questions, is that it's like such a specific thing. I don't know. I guess all code is pretty specific. And it might just print them added up. It might just print them added up here. But that's a simple syntax thing that I'm pretty sure I can figure out. Ooh, here we go. Look at all these things. I think I might know what it is already. And it is this. This is another thing that's kind of annoying about working in these, is that I would have seen that like miles ago, but I'm not working in IDE. and so my errors were not highlighted for me, and so I didn't notice those very obvious bracketing issues as I was running through this. And so this is gonna process. This has been just about as difficult as I thought it would be. I'm pretty mind flooded like as I go through it, but I think I did an okay job. If this works, then it works, right? And if it doesn't work, then that's the whole thing about programming, is that you just fix it. And so, yeah, this is like what's actually being run, and then it runs through and it calls this. That's what we're doing here. And it's not working, and we can see why it's not working right here in different lines. And it's saying that the ints don't exist in the current context. So this is about scope. This is saying that certain things don't exist in the scope, and I think we can fix this by going ahead and making it so that it does exist. Because it didn't exist at first. I was saying something, and it wasn't in the universe, but now it is. And so we'll see what happens when you actually generate the variable before you try and run the code. So like someone who's good at coding probably would have figured this out like 5 to 7 times faster than me, but you know, it's about the practice, and so that's what I'm here doing. And maybe if I learn how to code better, the morphogenetic field will make it easier for everyone. They max and min don't exist. Let's take a look. Here it is. Now we got it right here. Whoa. This has actually been fun though. I'm talking a lot about feeling intimidated, but it has been fun. It's kind of cool to just like walk through the process of thinking about this. And I'll do one more after this, and then I'm gonna set up for cooking in the afternoon here. I actually like super don't want to cook. The other day I was talking about not wanting to cook. Today I fucking don't want to cook. I really, really, really don't want to cook today. But I'm going to, and I'm going to do it on stream so that everyone can see my suffering. Yo, look at this, I got the wrong answer. But in coding, the wrong answer is so much fucking better than no answer or just complete shit. And so the first one's working, but not the second, and I think we can mildly guess why. Let's take a look. So, lower plus higher. Let's take a look at what's going on here. If x is equal to 0, it's going to remove it, and it's going to go through and do all that. And then if it isn't 0, oh, I think that this will do it. I think it just wasn't looping through twice, so I think that this is going to work. Programming's so crazy. And then it's weird to think about like genetic code and how like this code breaks if you fucking mess up one thing, but like genetic code, it's like you can just be riddled with cancer and just thriving, honestly. Maybe not thriving, but like you can live a full life. But then also it can be devastating, obviously. Let's take a look. Ooh, 10 and 9, and we know what's going on here. That's okay. We can figure this out, because what it's doing is this. First of all, it's doing it on different lines, which is exactly not what it's supposed to do. And then it's removed the highest, so then it's actually removing the lowest on top of it. It's removing 1 after. So we see what's happening. There's 2 different errors here, and we can fix both of those errors. The first is that it's not printing on both lines. I think the first error that I'm going to fix is to have this print the correct thing. And so obviously what I'm seeing here is that it removes this permanently. They don't have regeneration. I wish I could give List the crown of regen and give it regen so that after you loop it through the array, it heals and it gets what you removed it, but you can't just remove it. You cannot just remove the lowest and get it back. So what we'll do is we'll store it as an integer. If x is equal to 0, we'll store it. We'll say int placeholder. It's a little bit silly, but we'll say is equal to array.max. It's a little silly. It's a little bit silly. But then we'll say, and we don't want to remove the minimum number. Wait, yes, we do want to remove the minimum number. Because we'll go ahead and we'll just add it to this now. And I don't even think we need to do anything. I think we can literally just say plus placeholder. And I think that that's going to give us our answer on the second line. But we want it all on the same line is the thing. And why doesn't it print it on the same line? That's a weird thing. Thinking. My output does console.writeLine lower plus I. Well, let's just run it. Let's run it and see if it does print it on 2 lines. It does go through. Oh yeah, it goes through this twice. Now, okay. So I got it. I think we got this. I'm gonna let it process and then we'll fix it afterwards. No matter what, if this runs twice, it's going to... Okay, so we'll get rid of the for loop. That's the problem here. The name placeholder does not exist. That's fair. Placeholder doesn't exist. It would need to be up here. That's fair. So we'll close that out and we'll put this up here. And I know what we're gonna do. Oh gosh, we are on the road to victory. For sure. Yeah, we don't want this in a for loop at all. We only want it to run once. So there's no for loops here. Wow, it's so much simpler than I was being asked. So we're holding the placeholder, and then we're gonna remove the minimum and add it. And that's literally it. And so I think what we can do actually is like console.write, and then it won't put it on another line. But we still need a space, and so we'll do... And I think that will probably do it. And then it's like you're just supposed to clean up your code from there. I think this should work. I kind of don't see why it wouldn't. But that's the case every single time I run code of mine. And I don't know what the time was on that. Probably like 20 minutes on a very, very baby problem. But it's good. It's good for my brain. I'm just thinking like way too much about these things. It's processing. I think we'll see some green. We didn't. The name X doesn't exist still somehow. I think I know why. And difference of a possibility of null. Yeah, I think we're not using X anymore. Yeah, so literally, we don't even need an if statement. We're just running through code. We're just running code. There's no if statement to be done. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's just happening. It's just happening. Okay. Wow. Okay. It's because there's no conditions. You're just doing it. There's no condition there. It's not conditional. This is unconditional love and unconditional programming. And I was making it so much harder than this. And that's what I do for everything. Let's see if it works. Did it work? Did it work? Please, process. If this works, I'm taking a quick break and then I'll do a second problem. And I'm not gonna look at the problem, I promise. Hey, I'm so close. Oh my god, look how close I am. And I know what happened. Higher is supposed to be only higher plus placeholder. Yeah, this is gonna do it. This is the correct answer now. This is it. Right? Right? Please? Will the machine tell me that I'm right? Can I please get validation from the Matrix right now that I understand something about the universe? We'll find out. Oh my god, there's very loud thunder. It's very jarring. I feel jarred. They say that there's an earthquake at the time of every Buddha's birth and death. And so this time, we didn't get exactly what we wanted. We needed it to be one lower. We did remove the minimum, right? Let's see. We removed the max. Oh, I guess we have to add... No, we don't have to add placeholder back in. And this is where debugging would be good. I'm printing 15. Why am I printing 15? We have a placeholder number. We're removing the minimum number. Let's look at this. So I remove 5, right? And so you get 10. And then the array is 10. And then I remove it. And then you would have 2, 3, and 4, which is 9. And then it should add 5, which is the placeholder number. What is placeholder? Placeholder is array.max. Should be the highest number. And then we remove array.max. Ah, wait, yeah? Yeah, it shouldn't change after. I think this should be working. Thinking? Let's check out the second test case really quickly here. Yeah, see, this is so large. This is a very large number that we're getting. Because obviously it did this multiple times, I think. This is a weird output. It clearly added this number twice somehow, I think. Did this add this twice? Nobody tell me the answer. I don't think anybody would. Okay, let's see. Higher equals higher plus placeholder. Ah, because it's adding it multiple times. For each one, just do higher. Oh my gosh, higher equals higher plus num. So it was right before. Okay, hold on. Yes, we got it. Hold on. Okay. Going back. Num plus higher. I was trying to do the actual writing in a silly way. Okay. Num plus higher. There we go. Then at the very bitter end, we do outside of it, we'll do higher equals higher plus the placeholder. And this time I think we're feeling pretty good. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so nuts. It's so nuts how many things you overlook while you're coding. Pretty poor display of coding by me. And so see how there were 2 of these. This is what I was trying to avoid. I was trying to do this as one function here. And I'm sure there's a very easy, slick way to do it. But as I was saying at the beginning, I've been told so much in my life. You should just get it to work. Congratulations! I passed the sample test cases. Wow. Look at that. We have green letters. We have matching numbers. The satisfaction is palpable. Here we go. Let's look at one more. Well, I said I wasn't going to look at it before we do it. We're going to be doing time conversion here because I'm just going to run through these challenges. This is personalized for this profile. Thanks so much if you're here. I'm making a fool of myself on stream. I'm going to do one more challenge and then we'll move to cooking soon. I'm just going to take a quick break so that my brain can fucking decompress from that. Be back soon. Thanks for being here. Yo, Joey, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're enjoying the programming. I'll be back with more programming soon. Appreciate you. Hi everyone. Hello. My name's Paige. This is Gender Blending. This is my show. I'm back. Uh Today we have been doing some cool stuff. I like having this microphone on screen. I think it looks cool. We've been doing a lot of different stuff. Trying to broaden my horizons with a little bit of programming. So, didn't mean to have that up. We're gonna do another problem. We're doing programming. I don't know if that's an interesting thing to most people, but to me it's fascinating. I feel like most programmers aren't as fascinated by programming as I am. I'm fucking blown away by programming. It doesn't make sense to me how the world is the way it is, but somehow programming is just like amazing, and I'll never stop being stunned by it. And so one day I really hope that I can successfully do something meaningful in the programming universe. I don't know what it is because right now I'm too awestruck. Yes, more problems. We're gonna do time conversion. I'm gonna convert some time. Oh fuck. And like this is something I'm really weak with too. So this is something that I probably might not even succeed on. Time stuff is so fucking weird. Uh let's take a look. And I've never looked at this problem. I've never looked at this programming problem my whole life. We'll see if I'm skilled enough to do this. Given a time in 12-hour format, we're going to convert it to military. That sounds fairly straightforward. So we're going to do 0 at midnight. So at 12 a.m., it's 0. 24-hour clock. We're going to try and return 0100 or 1201. Okay, we're gonna do a conversion in the editor, and we're gonna return a new string that is gonna be in the 24-hour format. See, it says all the same stuff over and over and over. It just tells you the same thing over and over. So we're gonna convert a time from regular time to military time. And these are the formats. So I'm definitely gonna have to look up stuff for this, but it doesn't seem like that hard. I'll figure it out. I haven't done date stuff in C# in a while, so we're gonna look up C# time conversion, literally, because it's its own thing. Converting between time zones. We can actually literally convert the string time. We can just type in military and standard. Okay, let's take a look. I think that there's a built-in thing, right? String builder. That person wrote a function. Daytime now toString. Yeah, I've seen these things before, the apps. I forget what those are called, but I've definitely seen those. And so what is that? Does it explain in this person's writing? No, it doesn't. But I do understand this. So we're taking the actual time variable, and this is the text version. We're taking the representation, we're putting it into a string, and then we parse it. Wait, daytime now toString. This is a new string. Let's take a look at this again really quick. Yeah, yo, Grimpy, how are you doing? I'm doing some coding on stream, and I managed to solve the last problem. This problem is involving something I'm very not experienced with in coding, which is time in general. I have messed around with time things, mostly in HTML, to be honest. I feel like time situations are things that happen in the front end, and in HTML, I've done this. I've never actually really done a conversion like this in C#, but it seems rather straightforward. This literally says ASP.NET, and so that's a framework, and I know how to use that. And let's see, this person wants to convert from regular time to military time. And so I'm taking a look and seeing this is the actual suffix. Understanding. Hours, minutes, seconds. I'm trying to understand the difference between these two things here. Time.text. Let's read this response. When you use punctuation in a format string, this would be a format string, it's always best to escape it with a backslash. Okay? The colon is not a colon, but rather a time separator. That makes sense. That's a time separator. If you change your Windows preferences, time will have hyphens instead of colons. Then run it Your string, your output will be that. Is it really this straightforward? We can take this. Let's grab this and let's just see what happens. I feel like that's what my coder friends say that they do. I'm gonna give it a shot and not feel bad that I copied something off of Stack Overflow. So in this case, the string is what's being passed to us. And so I think what we're gonna try and do is do S, and then this isn't necessarily the same because we only want hours, minutes, seconds. So we don't want this. And maybe that's going to work, except this should be S. And then this is putting it to the string. So we still need to do a console.writeLine. And then this is actually gonna print it. Yeah, I'm trying coding for the first time gonna be on stream. And I'm a little intimidated because it's pretty different than a lot of things. I have a medium amount of experience coding, and I am really embarrassed when I code, truthfully. I know I shouldn't be, but that's just like how I feel. I feel like I'm slow when it comes to like understanding the things, no matter like how much I expose myself to it. So I'm trying to put myself into the deep end of the pool and just do it like right on stream. This seems like probably a little bit too simplistic, but I think it could work. I might need that @ symbol. I think the @ symbol might be crucial because in HTML you definitely need an @ symbol in there. Okay, well, so time doesn't exist. And then, so this is actually text. And then this is text. And then this is going to be time. And then I think we have to take this time and somehow put it into like a time. How do you take a string and make it into a date time? String to date time? Is that what we need to do? I'm pretty sure. Oh, and we have to actually do it in C#, of course, is the thing. Convert strings to date time. I'm pretty sure that's what we need to do. Parse. Isn't that what we're trying to do here? Isn't that what this is? S equals datetime.parse. Could we just do s.toString? Is it that simple? Is it literally that simple? I don't know. I'm about to find out. I don't think it is. I think that's not right. Datetime.parse s toString. Maybe that would work. It makes sense to me. Like, this would make sense to me, and it seems like a very simple and apt solution to converting a time. But right now it's processing. We'll see if this is even valid code. Let's see what happens. No, I think I have an idea though. The name time doesn't exist. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, and I wrote read. It needs to say write. You see, I get so fixated on silly things. So actually, it was time.text, it said. So what if we do... Wait, what if we leave that? Shouldn't that work? Maybe? We'll see. I think maybe we can even get rid of .text. Oh, yeah, because we're parsing s into a date time, and then we're putting it into a string. We might even be able to just say, if this doesn't work, I have another idea. It probably won't. Yeah, time doesn't exist. That's what I expected. Okay. We're gonna do this. We're gonna say string time equals, and we'll make an empty string, and then we'll say time is equal to, I'm not sure what the dot text was. Maybe I wasn't even looking at C#. I think this could work. I think that this could be, I keep saying that. I keep saying that I think this could work. And I think that's what a lot of coding is. I think a lot of bad coding is this way. I think this is like shotgun coding. I don't know if that's the name for it, where you just like keep throwing things out there, but I feel like that's kind of the environment that I'm putting myself in, is just trying to like force myself to get out there and write incorrect code and try and get to the correct answer. I've done a lot of stuff, but I haven't done time very much. And to be fair, I've heard that time is like kind of a hard thing sometimes. So time conversion. Not all code paths return a value. Result time conversion S. Not all because not all code paths return a value. Oh, it's supposed to return a string. So we would return time. That's fine. That's actually pretty straightforward. Let's see. So instead of writing, the other ones wanted us to write to the console. This time it wants us to actually return. I'm pointing to the screen, but it wants us to actually return a string, and in this case, a static string. And static is something that I have a very loose grasp on understanding. Static has something with mutability, but wrong. I said this last time, but wrong answers are closer than not compiling. That's pretty cool. And I think I'm seeing something right here. My output was 7, and actually it's 19. So I was pretty close. I was pretty close because I put out time, but it needs to be military time. And so, thinking. Let's see. It's only one test case. And this is the literal thing. Let's go back to this example. I was looking at other people's things about this time. Let's take a look. Datetime parse. This person is trying to get the text to be after. This is the opposite of what we're actually looking for. We're trying to convert time to military time. Whoa, this seems like a complicated way to do it. I'm just gonna look through a couple of these and see how other people have approached this problem, and I'll try and explain as I understand as we go here. Datetime parse exact, is that what we're looking for? Hours, minutes, time. Shouldn't this use a culture info that sets to use 24-hour? Capital H's indicate a 24-hour system. Interesting. Well, let's give it a freaking shot, huh? Let's give it a shot. And the other person said we should have a backslash before colons. I don't know if that's just like convention, but I don't have that right now. But this seems pretty straightforward. And I think it's still running. Maybe it didn't run before. So I'm thinking that after I run this code, I kind of wanted to do one more like equation one. This one's a little bit like boring, to be honest, just like converting one thing. If this is the answer, which I think it could be, then this is very straightforward and very small. And I was hoping for something a little bit bigger, like Jerry has 17 apple trees and Martha has 7 pear trees, and every year they become apple trees. And look at this. Look at the green. I said at the beginning, I'm weak when it comes to like time things in programming. But you know, you just look online. That's what the internet is literally for. You figure it out. So yeah, very straightforward. This was so. This is easy mode. This one. And I did mean to start with easy ones. I didn't mean to choose one so easy. But also, to be fair, the reason that I got this one is because I'm specifically trying to challenge myself and not look at them. I'm just grabbing problems off of this website. So this was fun. This is good for me. This is good practice. And hopefully I'm also enriching the cultural consciousness with programming. I'm actually pretty proud of myself for having figured it out so fast on the second one, even though it's like really simple. Still, that's cool. The green. Look at all the green. We're green machines here. And speaking of the green machine, of course, we are gonna enjoy some of the green, and then I'm gonna play a song. I'm gonna play a little more piano to celebrate the fact that I successfully did 2 programming challenges there. And we'll do more programming on the stream. That was kind of fun. That was cool. I wish I had more time for it, but I absolutely have to cook. I really, really don't want to, but streaming and cooking will make it more fun. I'm going to take a small break now, play some music for just a small period because I have to cook. And then I'll put myself on an intermission where I have to set up for the kitchen segment, and I'll hopefully have a better camera angle than I did the other day. All right, I hope to see you all there. And please enjoy the music while I'm gone for just a couple of minutes. Probably just like 5 to 6 minutes here.